the world circuit next year. Canada, the winners of the Shield, the first of the trophies awarded here in Hong Kong. Coming up next, it'll be the bowl final between United States of America and Kenya. And your commentator for this match will be Scott Hastings, rather. Wrong brother.
Thank you very much, Wyn Griffiths. United States versus Kenya. And of course, at this stage of the afternoon in Hong Kong, the silverware comes thick and fast. Here we have the bowl final, then the plate, then the cup. It only gets bigger here in Hong Kong as the officials look out over this magnificent setting. Just such a great atmosphere. And Canada, well, they'll be first to celebrate, won't they?
Yeah, and Hong Kong Rugby Union are to be congratulated as well for working with the IRB to entertain us royally here, but to make sure that we've had some terrific rugby right from the outset here. They've divided the competition to two competitions of 12 teams to enable the IRB to introduce this qualifying tournament, and they're certainly to be congratulated. They had the vision back in 1976 to establish a sevens tournament initially. It's been very popular and probably the best of all the tournaments, it has to be said.
Oh, very much so. This is the Blue Ribbon Tournament, and there was a lot of criticism before the start of the tournament about the format, but I think everybody recognises there's been an edge across both the tournaments. And look at the crowds, well over 40,000. Champagne celebration start for Canada. That's them back on the circuit, and for a lot of these young lads plying their trade, playing the sport that they love, is just a dream come true.
Well, that's a wonderful sight, not only for viewers all around the world, but for the Hong Kong Rugby Union officials as well. We saw Trevor Gregory there, the chairman, joined by the president, Brian Stevenson. We met up with them last night, and they were absolutely delighted with the support that they've had again this year for the Cathay Pacific HSBC Hong Kong Sevens.
So the next bowl final up, United States versus Canada. These two teams have played 18. Kenya have won 11, lost 6, drawn 1, and they reached this final. Kenya had an excellent win, 29-0 over France, and the USA beat Scotland by 28 points to 14. These two teams, incidentally, in the IRB rankings are ranked 12th and 13th respectively. Kenya on 12th, USA on 13th. Kenya on 26 points, USA on 23 points. So an awful lot at stake, especially with the points on offer. 8 for the winners, 7 for the runners-up. And United States, well, look out for Mike Balafau, Duratalo and Zach Test up front. And the flying machine, number 7, Rocco Muia, making his debut here in Hong Kong. He's one to watch out. For Kenya, well, some of the great characters in the Kenyan rugby have been restored to the frontline order. Number 6, Humphrey Kayangi. His brother captains the team, Collins Injera. But Oscar Uma and Leon Odongo, who scored 2 tries in the semi-final, was quite outstanding. So just awaiting the entry of the teams into this arena. And as we move forward into the plate and cup competitions, the light will dim, the floodlights will come on, and the crowd enjoying the action here in the stadium. Well, we have a special gentleman out on the pitch, ball carrier, a young man, Lawrence Lueng, who won a competition with the Royal Sevens, who sponsors HSBC, to take the ball out to the middle of the pitch. And as the teams enter, listen to the noise across this stadium. It's exciting time here in Hong Kong. The bowl final between USA and Kenya.
And no disrespect to the Americans, Scott, but I think the Kenyans will probably be favourites amongst the crowd here in Hong Kong. This is where they made their breakthrough back in 2003 when they defeated Australia.
Alex Ruiz from France, his 6th match in the World Cup Series. And look at the size of nothing there, Duratalo.
Yeah, he could land a jumbo jet on his back, couldn't he?
So Alex Magleby, the interim head coach of the United States, looks on. He played in the early 2000s. The kick-off left to right will be in Kenya's favour. Kick restart then from Peter Ocholo. Handed back there by Colin Hawley. Early attack through Ty Inosa. Hawley again involved in the action. Big tackle came in. Duratalo takes the ball into the contact. This is Zach Test. What's Test? Former American footballer who turned to rugby. Now playing up front in the forwards. Good settled position for him. Colin Hawley protects the ball. Here's Zach Test. Zach Test at scrum half. Duratalo. The Beef makes the big charge.
No hands.
Speaking of beef, Scott, the Kenyans certainly have added a fair bit of muscle in recent years, and they're quite happy now to take their opponents on in the contact area. They had some lovely handling skills before, but they've now added power and purpose to their attack.
Ocholo switches with Injira. So the attack is out wide there. Mbachi into the contact. He'll be supported by Odongo. Odongo wearing the grey scrum cap in your picture. Now look how Kenya are being held up in the contact area. That's because USA are going to turn over ball. So excellent defensive play from the US of A.
Yeah, and we see more of that tactic being adopted certainly by the leading nations, and some of the lesser nations now are following their example, holding the guy up in the contact area so that they can get the scrum themselves.
Another area of improvement or a skill is from the kickoffs where the lifted player comes in, and it's amazing how quickly coaches go away and develop that style of play. Little things, the little intricacies that come into the seven-a-side game, because all these squads are looking for the edge. They know each other so well. They stay in the same hotels. Early engagement for the USA.
So look for some wizardry from Collins Injera, his brother, full brother Humphrey Kayenge, he with the yellow boots. That's Collins Injera captaining the Kenyan side for the first time here in Hong Kong.
Switch play then comes in, attack down the blind side. Injera, well tackled by Hawley. Ball then back into Uma. This is Injera. Injera cuts back against the grain, gets the offload now. Can Kenya get into the corner? Dancing feet down the touchline. Try deny. Peter Ocholo bundled into touch by a great USA defence.
Yeah, the man there with the yellow boots, Humphrey Kayenge, picked a lovely angle, and he certainly has been Kenya's cornerstone really in the revival in Wellington and in Las Vegas in the lead up to this tournament in Hong Kong.
Well, Zach Test passive ball. Loud blast to the whistle.
10 meters, please.
And Kenya had encroached within the 10 metres.
So a let-off for the US of A.
Suniola. There's the scrum half. Now men out wide here from USA. Show and go by Inosa. Oh, good little flick passes coming out here. And here's the flying machine, Rocco Moya. Oh, look at Mo going. Wonderful try by the speedster. He'll enjoy that moment.
Oh, Peter Ochola is no slouch, but he couldn't lay a finger, not even a fingernail on Rocco Moya. We've been told about the threat of Rocco Moya making his debut here in Hong Kong, and look out for this little sleight of hand. It all started with Shalom Sunyola, and I thought perhaps the opportunity had been lost when Ty Inosa went to ground. Duratalo picked it up. There's the lovely underhanded pass, and then away goes Rocco Moya, giving chase at Peter Ochola, but he didn't have a hope. What a try.
Well, that's ignited the crowd, and just as an indication of this sport that's going to be played in the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, this man's been specially contracted to the USA squad to be part of that ambition to go through to the Olympic Games in 4 years' time.
He was in fact the most valuable player at the inaugural Collegiate Championships in America 2 years ago. He's been knocking on the door of the USA squad for some time, but has finally pushed it wide open, and that's why you just saw that try from Rocco Moya. He's got pace, he's got gas, he's got promise, and he's got a future.
The conversion was unsuccessful. USA 5, Kenya 0. Coming down to 2 minutes left within the half. Can Kenya make a riposte? Big charge and shrug off there from Kenya. Oscar Uma involved in that contact now. Zach Test goes in and burrows for the ball. Good play by Enosa, but rather favoured the dive and picked up there in the in-goal area.
Yeah, there was no need for that kick from Ty Enosa, and you ask Gordon Teachins, he'll say to you, well, keep your kicking for karate.
And again, another indication of the USA just holding up Kenya in the contact area, and the turnover's completed, so it's the USA's turn for the 5-yard scrum.
Getting back to Ty Enosa, that he can be a little impatient at times, tries a few too many things himself, and USA are on, they're leading at the moment, and there was no urgency really. He didn't have to put that kick in.
On the far side of the scrum, Andrew Burutalo. This on the near side is Colin Hawley. Well, the runaround was there. Wide passes on now. Mayer, can he go in at the corner? He's got bags of gas. Odongo's outside him. Mayer steps back in. Can he find an angle to the line? Zigzag all the way. Good hands. USA just have to be patient. They have to release. They've got men out wide. This is Colin Hawley. Hawley in for the second try of the tie.
Well, that was head and scared in rugby, wasn't it? Rockamauer intent again on getting to the try line and causing all sorts of confusion in the Kenyan ranks. But when the ball was spread out wide, Colin Hawley, well, he only had to run it in. Humphrey Kayenge got a boot to it. And Mauer and the Americans stretching the Kenyan defence. Look at them, they're chasing shadows, aren't they? Mike Palifau suddenly came out from Shalom Sunyula, the captain. Colin Hawley, the simplest of run-ins for him. Colin Hawley, incidentally, Scott, his grandfather came from Aberdeen in your part of the world.
Well, they played outstandingly well in the previous tie against Scotland. Here's Shalom Sunyula. The Hooters just gone for half-time, so Kenya will be desperate to get their hands on the ball. Can they score a length of the try? Length of the field try, but a knock-on judged for there by Oscar Uma. So a productive opening 7 minutes for USA's 2 tries, 1 converted. They lead at half-time 12-0 over Kenya.
A poor start to the season for Kenya, but then they struck back and claimed the bowl in Wellington, the plates in Las Vegas, and the USA, of course, as we've already mentioned, they now have Alex Magleby to take up the baton for the US of A.
There's the try scorer, the flying machine, Rokomuya. And Leon Odongo, who looks on no slouch himself, wearing the scrum cap. Shalom Sunyula will start this second half, the captain of the United States team.
When the Kenyans are on song, Scott, they're more than capable of winning this one. We've seen some remarkable recoveries from them in the second half of games over the years.
Of course, the final for the ball is 7 minutes each way, as is the plate and the shield, but for the main cup competition, 10 minutes each way, which is a tradition in the final of 7-a-side rugby.
Pause! Engage!
Feed them by Kenya. They're going to have to attack for deep. We haven't seen too much of the electric pace of Collins and Gira. Oscaruma takes in the contact. Tackled by Zach Tess. Now, wider ball on. This is the Kenyan game that we've come to love so much. Outside hand, Odongo goes in to support. Ball then back onto Ochola, that scrum half. Collins and Gira almost in the fly half role. This is his brother, Humphrey Kayenge.
Yeah, they play well together. They know each other's tactics so well, but the States are in, off their feet.
Duratala penalised. Now options to go out wide, but the switch play going back to Kayenge. Always likes to find a good angle, Kayenge. Look at the angle he took on that occasion. And on the outside, is he going to go all the way? What a wonderful athlete this man is. Try time, Kenya.
That's exactly what I was telling you. Humphrey Kayenge He's a star player, former captain, that's relinquished the captaincy to his brother Collins Injera, but he's racking up the tries, and that try has brought Kenya back into this match.
The added 2 points comes from Peter Ocholo. This should be an easy tap, and over the bar it goes.
Yeah, it was the change of direction back to where the threat was. Peter Ochola looking for Collins Injera, and Humphrey Kayenge spotted a gap, released Humphrey Kayenge. One-on-one, you'd back this man every time, wouldn't you? He's got pace, he's got deceptive pace as Humphrey Kayenge. Lovely try for the Kenyans, and that's given them some hope of further silverware here in Hong Kong to add to the plate, which they won in Las Vegas and the bowl in Wellington.
Real transformation in 2012 for this Kenyan team. Kick was perhaps a little bit long. Suniola. Oh, good hands there through the hands of Punimata. Punimata brought down in a tackle. Zach Test is up. The abrasive tackling coming in from Kenya.
Far more urgency now in the play of the Kenyans. But unfortunately for them, Humphrey Kayenge had not released the tackle player.
This is Palifau, Mike Palifau. He switched then to Moyer. Loose pass, but it bounces favourably. Oh, excellent cover tackle that came in from Horatio Otinho.
Yeah, you have to play the referee, you have to play the whistle. One or two of the Kenyan players protesting to the referee that that pass was forward. But play on, said the referee. Unfortunately for them, the tackle was good.
Ndayayara comes on off the bench. Interesting change there, Humphrey Kayenge coming off, the try scorer.
Yeah, he's not played too much Sam's rugby of late, and it's been a long weekend.
Pass by Tyanosa. Moyer, tackled by Adongo. Enosa goes in to try and clear bodies.
Yeah, it had to be. The Kenyan player was in very quickly to get his hands on the ball. They stayed on his feet.
Kenya through Adongo. Adongo up over the halfway now. Can ball be recycled? Well, it's a turnover ball. The man Andrew Duratalo, he got hands on it, turned the ball over.
Yeah, durable Duratalo.
That could be a tongue twister. Good step and back in by Tyanosa. Pressure coming on from Kenya. Oh, look at the way they're clamping down the space of the USA team.
Yeah, the USA going backwards at the moment. It's Duratalo in there once again.
Well, it's interesting, you could almost throw a towel over those players. They've put so many in. Kenya flooded the contact area. Zach Test tries to counter ruck. Breakaway comes out now. There's a man over here for Kenya. What's going to be important is where the try goes. Can the Nanjaya in under the post, and with a conversion to come, this could put Kenya into the lead.
Brilliant individual effort from Big Willie Mbaka from the Kenya Harlequins club. Suffered a hamstring injury in Dubai first time out, but it recovered well, and the conversion is good. And Kenya have struck back, and they lead by 14-12.
But it was the aggressive area. Look at them in defence, trying to turn over ball. This is where they managed to do it. Dongo, look with the scrum cap. He turns the ball over.
Yeah, good work. Bit of muscle as well from Peter Ochola, I think it was. But the skills, the running skills of Big Willie Mbaka. Well, he's a youngster making his name in the event. Willie Mbaka, his 7th event.
Well, there's been some great ties all over the last 3 days of action, and often many of the ties go down to the last play of the game. We're into the last play of the game. There's a minute left on the clock. Can USA come back to take this bowl title? Test comes back in, spins out the tackle, just lodged ball. Mbaka with that tackle. How important will that be?
Yeah, Kenya need to control and respect the ball, as they say here now, with 40 seconds remaining. Just hold on to possession, and Alex Magleby will be denied his first trophy and Mitch Ochola will be a much relieved man.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Simiyu comes on at scrum half. This is Collins and Gira. Out wider through the hands of Kenya. Odongo now. Odongo goes on the outside. Was that a risky strategy? Has that given an opportunity for USA to regain the possession? Counter ruck comes in there. USA have turned over ball. Zach Test there and a penalty. USA. How crucial is this going to be?
Right on the hooter. Could be some drama yet in this bowl final. Here come the USA.
USA with men out wide, the show and go. Durutala comes back in against the grain. Recycle possession for USA. Pops out the side, they're having to fight so hard. Penalty now. Do you take the penalty and kick it goal, or do you run it? Interesting decision here for the USA team. Tap and go it is for USA. Exciting stuff. Durutalo into the contact area. The crowd are absolutely on their knees. Step and goal from Tyanosa. He's lost the ball now. Kenya, all you have to do is put the goal up. Listen to the cheers from throughout the stadium. A super advert for seven-a-side rugby. The Hong Kong Bowl final. Well, it's ended up in the hands of Kenya. The players flood onto the pitch. The celebrations start. Despair for Alex McElby.
Yeah, broad smile on the face there of Kenyan coach Mitch Ochola, but I bet he was biting his bottom lip about 40 seconds ago, Scott.
Oh, very much so. Sometimes the awareness of the game, you've got to sometimes close it out, but it was the two converted tries that got Kenya the 2-point slender lead. Kenya win the ball by 14 points to 12. Let's go down to Willie Lucy, who's on pitch side.
This seems to be a happy hunting ground for Kenya.
Definitely. Yesterday we had a very, very tough day there in the office. Day 1 and day 2. And today when we came out, we just wanted to come and win the ball. And that's what we did, and we are so proud of ourselves.
Well, you're the winners here. What is so special about Hong Kong? How do you get up for 3 days, basically?
David, Hong Kong is a special tournament. Playing 3 days in a row, it's not quite that easy as people might think. But Hong Kong definitely is special. The crowd, the atmosphere is fine, and really love it here. You've
got supporters all around the world. What is it about this Kenyan team that the people love?
I don't know. They say we are the crowd favorites, and that's how we want to play. We want to play and maybe please the crowd, and definitely we're going for win so that we can make ourselves happy.
All right, go and collect the silverware. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
So Shalom Suniola, the captain of the United States team, goes up to collect his tankards as we await the main presentation for the winners of this Hong Kong Bowl final. Kenya. Let's just have a quick word at the moment with Alex McElby alongside Willie Lucy.
Well, Alex, not the result that you wanted, obviously, but you've been pleased. There are some positives to take out of that.
Yeah, big positives. I mean, the whole weekend there's a lot of positives to take, and we now have a platform to work from, which is pretty exciting.
John McKittrick will be watching this back in New Zealand. He'll be saying, I told him everything he knew.
Yeah, McKittrick last. Hello, yeah, cheers.
And so, what do you take from this into the next tournament? What positives can you take?
Yeah, you know, once we sorted out our restarts, we did all right, and I think just the effort of that the boys put in today on the third day is something that we can really take out of it, and there's a bit more confidence there, and that's really exciting to see. So,
being one of the core teams as well, how big a sport is sevens in America?
It's growing. I mean, rugby in general is growing. It's great growth in the last couple of years, and certainly certainly with the Olympic movement, that's going to continue to help. And a lot of youth are now playing at least touch rugby, and it's great. It's good to see.
Are you going to be getting some of the superstars that possibly may not be getting medals in other disciplines in America?
You know, there's always the debate about the crossover athlete, and there's certainly athletes that would really enjoy rugby, and it's just about what age do we get them.
Okay, thanks, Alex.
Cheers, thanks.
So delight here for Collins and Gira, the skipper of the team, accepting the trophy from Chris Pratt. Chairman, Chief Executive of Cathay Pacific, John Sloss is already there. And also Sandy Flockett, Chairman of the Europe, Middle East, Latin American Commercial Banking of HSBC Holdings, as part of the presentation party. And wonderful celebrations there for Collins and Gira. Didn't perhaps see as much of him and his lightning quick feet here in Hong Kong over the 3 days, but as you heard from Humphrey Kangi, 3 days of action, it means all that warming up, but all that effort is worth something. One of the most colourful teams on the circuit. Well, coming up is the next match, and I'll just hand you over to Keith Quinn, and Andy Nicol will be your commentators.
Thank you very much, Scott Hastings. Strong Scottish contingent in the commentary this week from Hong Kong, doing great work and enjoying their company. We are. Let's go back down to Willie Losay on the sideline.
Thanks very much, Keith. Sholem, not the result that you wanted, but something special about being here in Hong Kong?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a real prestigious tournament out of all of them. I don't think you play sevens unless you've been in Hong Kong. A lot of guys watch it growing up, so it's a pleasure to be here.
The guys are getting better too. We saw that over the development over the last couple of days. You as a captain, I mean, you must be pleased with what the guys done today.
Yeah, a lot of errors still made. Our turnovers could be better, but it's all work in progress, I guess, going into the future, especially with the Olympics coming up. So we're just trying to take baby steps, not trying to run straight away, but still a lot of progression to be made.
How are you spreading the message of rugby through America? Are there a lot of young kids that actually want to play the game?
Yeah, definitely. It's growing a lot along the West Coast, maybe because of international effect that's settling on the West Coast. So especially on the West Coast, the message I try and portray is I grew up in New Zealand, and it all starts at a young age. So you got to be passing the ball, running your nappies. You can't be playing in high school or anything, because it's passing the ball and little skills like that. It's all natural. It's got to be second nature.
All right, well, I know you want to go and thank the crowd, so thanks for talking to us, and see you next week.
Thanks, Willie.
Yeah, another nice young man from Kelston Boys High School in Auckland, New Zealand. Shalom Suniula, 3 brothers from that family played for USA. My word, this is what it means to be in the winning team. There's Humphrey Kyangi Wade to the left, and his brother Collins and Gira, number 11 there.